Time for some repostal service. I always love doing repostal service nonsense. I've only started off with 2. Roll guard. I don't actually have to do... Yeah, no, it's after your attack. They still attack me if I have realm guard, right? I think that works. I just need to not pick up decoy or... yeah, so I only have 2 starting relics, and I have replaced my entire starting deck with fully upgraded fortifications. But apart from that, there's a lot of stuff I have yet to find for this build, so whether or not I find it, who knows? I could take on elites. I do really want the stores because a lot of the relics I'm looking for are store-only relics now, which is fine. You know, it's overall good that they're store-only relics, of course, because they're not relics that are... Like, I'm pretty sure you still just... No, it counts as missing. Okay. Well, that's good to know. Pretty sure I already knew this, but it's good to know again. Let's grab my 25 gold. I do want to pick up more fortifications if I get the chance, but it's not something I care too deeply about for sure. Money. I think I'll just go right. Oh, well, I mean, I said I would, so I will. Okay, going right is tempting a little bit. Like, that's some chests. I really don't need chests though, do I? Not gonna stop me. Yeah, that's +1 fortification, sure. The difference between level 1 fortification and level 3 fortification really isn't that much. It definitely adds up, and if you are doing a fortification build, you definitely need to level it out. But it doesn't really matter too much. Most of the time it's just like, I'm extremely happy that I'm at least shooting a fortification this shot and not a horrible, for example. Because horribles would just be horrible to shoot. That's why they exist after all. We are not doing a big fish build. I considered it. I was just like, instead of doing shield comp for my shielding, do I want to do something to do with large orbs? Perhaps the new buckle orb? But I decided against it. I do love a good shield build. And it's just nice because, I don't know, is it easier or harder to run now that they're store-only relics? Because you're not just going to randomly get it from elites, because you're not going to see it in elites. But before, like, you would actually pick it up sometimes if you wanted to try and high roll for it. Now it's just not an option. But instead, you know, if you enter a store and there's a fortification and a hammer in the store, maybe you want to buy that. Or maybe there's also a revenge damage in the store. I mean, look, I think just buying a bullpen hammer and a fortification that are both in a store, just to give yourself good durability, is pretty neat. Is that good enough, though? I don't know, it depends what else is in the store. Usually there's going to be a lot more in a store that you want at any one time, though. But I could definitely see it being worth it. That was impressive. Just keep getting my gold. Thank you very much. Is there a shot I can do to get more gold? I don't think there is. Unfortunately. 60 gold. I don't know about you, but that certainly sounds like I don't particularly feel like going to the store. I'll claim the extra chest. I really don't know if this path was worth it. Like, is there really any point? I mean, I get a lot of chests. I get a lot of chests and I get to hold my gold. That definitely counts for something, to be fair. Boom. One of the things I really do want though is essential oil. If my area 2 has a lot of elites, I'll be extremely happy. Same with my area 3. Because it makes a huge difference. Getting +2 per proc is a massive deal. And although for shooting the fortification it doesn't actually gain basically any additional benefits for that text, luckily that's not the text I care about applying it to. Oof, thought that was a good bounce. Let's go for the bounce this time. Bam! Perfect. Where did I lose the health to again? Good stuff. Bounces contribute to damage, completely worthless. Go on, what else have you got for me? Walls contribute to damage, completely worthless. I want those passives to be combined in higher rarity. I miss the good old days, eh? It was such a fun passive before, it really was. I do agree that at that stage in the game they did need to nerf it, but I don't think that we are playing the same Peglin anymore. I think that it could very easily exist in the old state, and that would be better for it. Now, of course, if you're talking about shield relics, technically there is always your shields also contribute to damage peg, which is technically a shield relic. I don't really consider it as a relic for these kinds of runs. It's of course nice to pick up, and I'm not going to turn it down if I see it most of the time. Some of the time. As long as I have gold for it, I'll pick it up. But realistically, you just don't really care about the additional damage boost that it's giving you. And like, yeah, the damage boosts can be noticeable, it can be a lot of extra damage chunks, which is great. But I want to do repostal stuff, you know what I mean? I could take a best orb fence. I still just think it's so bad. It plus 7 damage for every 1 bulwark I have. It's 700 damage if I have 100 bulwark. Which, like, that's not even that much. This is actually annoying. I do not get to claim my... I might just skip this fight, actually. I don't get to kill my rainbow slime, as well as I have a long way to go. There we go, 411 shielding is pretty funny, as well as 160 gold certainly ain't bad. Recom just for... not really. I will just take the recom just because. It's a good relic for giving me extra gold, and I care about extra gold more than I do extra damage. It's just I do need a few pieces for it to give me extra gold. This is a mimic fight. Which I'm not sure I'll find those pieces to get extra gold, but it is what it is. I also have bomber tonsils, just like pretty solid. I imagine this fight's going to be over pretty fast, but this is great. This is exactly what I wanted to see, more elite fights. I definitely would love the gold. Okay, Terrible can shoot through the top there, which is interesting, but doesn't seem like it matters all that much. Hero's backpack. If I was fighting Demon Wall, I would take it, but I can't see a Demon Wall in my future, so not all that interested in it just yet, but it would have been great to see later on if I were to fight a Demon Wall. Okay, let's just get my fortification upgraded, shall we? Yeah, sure. Okay, just like that, I guess. I know I only have 2 upgradable orbs in my deck, but that's impressive. Very impressive. Oh damn. I was hoping for some more value. Oh well. Let's just get those pegs back on the left-hand side, shall we? The double tap is extremely nice. Unfortunately, we can't take proper value off of it if we don't actually hit our pegs in the first place to create the shields. It looks like I'm not doing the best job of. Luckily, it really doesn't matter all that much because the double taps is just so brutal for him, but still. Pop pop. There we go, I'm already fully upgraded. Unpretentious amulet. I mean, I've just got to take it. Although... no, I think... I'll just take it. Oh, no. It misnavigates me as well, and unpretentious amulet is just like so good here. That is not a Demon Wall. I was fully expecting a Demon Wall. Anytime I ever try anything fancy with reflect nonsense, there's always just like, here you go, here's a Demon Wall. And, yeah, no, I don't like that. You then have to do the mad dash for, either Training Tabard or the other one. Whichever it is that gives you double store. Well, I want store-only relics, so that seems like... damn, I want store-only relics and I want elites. The fact that both are split is unfortunate. I would absolutely love to get more than just 2 stores or 2 elites here, but whatever. It's pretty funny that I got the bounces and amulets back to back though. $243 gold. That certainly does fund my stores pretty damn well though. Like, it's not bad. Just really hate missing 2 elites for them. Whatever though. I want my store-only relics, and realistically being able to remove the Terrible and Pebble from my deck would also be extremely, extremely nice. So then I just get the guaranteed fortification every shot, and that is exactly what I'm after. Wow. I was expecting like... I wasn't even expecting to get more than like 10 shield on the first shot, straight up. Just bound to that repush. I was incredibly impressed when I saw it just doing a lot more than that. A lot more than that. Damn. Yeah, the unpretentious amulet is just giving us great damage, eh? No fortifications. I don't really think I'll buy a chopping block if I see it. It's just so much worse than fortification when you're trying to do this kind of build. It's going to remain pretty much an orb that I will only ever pick up if I can't find the pieces I'm looking for any shield build. But, sorry, like fortification. If I can't find fortification, then I'll pick it up, but apart from that, just no. Alright, we start off with a whole bunch of shields on this map, that's just great. That's one of the nice things about Bullbean Hammer. You can just pick it up and it's just good into area 2. Now that it's a store-only relic, you can't actually do that though, which is interesting. I don't know how I feel about that. It was actually pretty noticeable to pick it up before and just appreciate the value off of it. Because there are some fights which is really nice to just solve, and that's exactly what it would do. Alright, 1 store. I'm totally fine with 1 store because affording 2 stores is pretty hard, but not the most ideal, especially when you're going to give me this fight, eh? Fortification doesn't really work too well on this fight. But we do have a full shield comp, so as long as we maintain our shield, which it looks like we will be doing, I think we'll be perfectly fine. Yeah, 300 revenge damage is pretty good. Nice. It's always fun to be able to get use out of this relic because, I'm going to be honest, Postal Service, after the buff, it's much more noticeable. But it's still just not good enough. A lot of ping damage just exists in the realm where you need it to be breakpoints, and if it's breakpoints, it's doing great. But if you want Postal Service to be breakpoints, you kind of need other ping sources as well. Which definitely massively decreases the value that it can provide. But there are some builds that are perfectly suited for it, and this is one of them. I think Roth is also pretty decent with it, but let's be honest, if you've got Roth, how much do you really care about the Postal Service? Just an unfortunate downside there. Because unfortunately you can't get status symbol on Balan. Status symbol Balan would be great for this stuff as well, but that doesn't really work out because you do not have access to the status symbol, unfortunately. Which is fine, you know. It's definitely a bit too close to creating like an infinite combo if you could access it, but I mean, I like infinite combos. Yeah. It's 12 gold, good greed there, good greed. Inflation as well, or molten gold even. It should be nice and simple, though I will have to wait for the painting for a while. Maybe I'll just get him out of the way fast. I don't know. I do also like the idea of not taking infection damage though, that's the thing. Nice to be doing this fight where this mage just pops immediately. That's always enjoyable. Speaking of which, I really do love the new change to Pocket Sand. Being able to punish enemies for attacking you immediately is just very, very pleasant. And a lot of the most irritating fights in the game, I think. Yeah, a lot of the most irritating fights in the game just had too much of it. And now it feels like with Pocket Sand, you know, like, sure they're hitting me now, but maybe they won't hit me next time or the turn after that. And more importantly, it's also just adding on to the blind that you already had. Which most of the time, admittedly, that's not actually going to be any blind. But on the off chance that it is, you know, that's nice. Because like Darkness Temple is a lot of blind. And I feel like there are a lot... Actually, what? This is the first store I went to. Well, well, well. Isn't that grand? I will not buy World on Stake though. I don't need a heal. I can't believe I actually found it, it's crazy. It's nowhere near as valuable as Bullbean Hammer, but man is it nice to have. I could also get an essential oil, that would be great, but my expectations are basically nothing now. I got what I wanted, and I'm not expecting anything more. I would be shocked if I did. So now what? It's just any multiple as my boss relic would just be amazing. Absolutely splendid, because I don't have to deal with the demon wall anymore. It's always scary, like you open up your first boss relic for this comp and you see a Constricting Chains, because like in theory Constricting Chains is like the best possible relic you can get for this build. But knowing that you've got to walk into area 2, and you've got a Constricting Chains to deal with the demon wall, a potential demon wall, sorry, is just like, it's not it, man. Constricting Chains is great, but it does have weaknesses, and if you can't find the proper scaling to go with it, it is basically just going to guarantee your death. Into demon wall, at least. Because you can't out-heal demon wall, unfortunately. And all the other scenarios where you would desire the scaling, you could just also out-heal to deal with it. Which is a great backup plan to have, because a lot of the time that is precisely what you can do. Either being able to heal successfully or mitigate damage successfully is not too hard to line up. Which is why I take Constricting Chains so often, because it really is just that good. Maybe I shouldn't have targeted you yet, but I'm sure I'll be fine. At worst, I'm only losing the tiniest bit of health, which is like perfectly acceptable. It's just something I would rather not do technically. Tech Orb, I really want to do more Pebble builds. New Obelisk seems incredibly fun. +1/+1 was like, okay, you're going to need like 3 of them before you start getting a real difference. +1/+2 though is like, okay, you get 1 of them, that's noticeable. You get 2, you're pretty damn happy. That's just exceptionally nice to see. Also, getting a Pebble in this fight is pretty brutal. So nice getting all of these punishing Area 2 fights, but we are not playing a build that cares about that. Oh, okay, yes, we are really seriously not playing a build that cares about that. This fight's annoying, it always takes longer than you'd like and you'd lose like 10 to 20 health in it consistently. But no, it's just over already. Absolutely do not mind if I do. Alright, we're just about to get a lot of Fallen. Which means my targeting technically was incorrect, but as it turns out, it was perfectly fine. And ship comp is so fun. Such a shame that it's not impossible to collect in a real run, unfortunately. The problem is just trying to do normal blend things is likely better a lot of the time, especially if you're going to find like Unpretentious Amulet as your first boss relic. They've given us such consistent damage. 99. So these paintings should... Interesting. Good news is I can just... Okay, perfect. I always get to shoot an all by one. Close, very close. So the paintings will be attacking me eventually, which will then kill themselves, but especially after what looks like a pretty insane shot 1, don't really think I'm going to have to worry about anything this fight. I got a lot of shielding power there. That's kind of weird. None of the bosses in Area 2 use shields. Interesting. For a mechanic that was introduced in the same area, I feel like that's a fair expectation to have. To just lose 1,000 health for daring to attack me. I love it. A really big shame that I picked up the ambidextrony though. Sorry, the round guard though. I was hoping it would work, I wasn't sure, but apparently it doesn't. Wonder Scorchment Broth durable. I mean, no multi-ball, and as nice as the other 2 relics are consistently, definitely just going to take that. Okay, Wonder Scorchment Broth Unpretentious Amulet, that is like the nuts setup usually. Oh my god, this is hilarious. I was just like, oh, he's never gonna actually aim at me, so I'm never gonna get a reflect skill. But no, I remember how this works now. You damage him, so he damages you, so you murder him. He's just gone. I have ambidextrony actually. I don't need to shoot any orb that I don't want to shoot from now on. I definitely kind of forgot about that just then. 915. Not quite as much as we need, eh? Just a little bit more gold. So essential oil, right? That's just... Nice shot, nice shot. Essential oil triple elite? Well, would you look at that? We can work with triple elite. That is pretty damn lovely. You know what I want? I want a dupe station really badly. That'd be extremely nice to see. Looks like we get 2 kills here. It's always a shame when you can't kill this guy before you stacked up this guy, but I think we should be fine. 168 shooting is a lot after all. 1000 damage per ping, and that number only grows. Perfect. You may walk, I will allow it. 300 gold should be enough for the store, and potentially I get a re-navigation in the other store. That would be funny. I don't particularly need it. I'm out of shopping relics that I want. I don't need more fortifications. I wouldn't hate it though. And I don't need more removals, but I would take one. But yeah, I could definitely re-navigate into that store. Sounds like fun. Duplicate all orbs. I'm just going to press the duplicate all button. Yes, if I press duplicate 1, I'll probably duplicate 1 fortification and that'll be perfect. But I have... yeah, nice. I have enough removes that I can just remove the pebbles from my deck. Well, most of the time. As it turns out, I got the Ouroboros, which definitely was enough removes. And I do have ambidextrony for my Horribles anyway. As well as, like, you know, I just want tons of fortifications in my deck. I don't want to reload ever because I didn't realize that... I thought I was going to go infinite for a second there. But I didn't realize how that worked with Round Guard. Now that I know how it works with Ground Guard, I'll just choose never to reload again. That just sounds like good fun. Because I have what? 10? 12. That's 10. I have 10 fortifications in my deck, and 10 shots should be enough for every enemy to get to me and start smacking me multiple times, preferably. Sash of Focus, 3 Philosopher's Stone. Well, since Sash is just such a useless passive, I'll just take it with Philosopher's Stone. Technically, it is useless. You know, I can never pop it. Well, I can pop it. But, okay, I can pop it and I can totally get away with it. And I can totally remain at 1 health the entire time. You know what? That actually sounds kind of fun. Hey, what if I played the rest of this area out on 1 health? Or as close to 1 health as I can get. I'll probably just die to an event. Maybe let's not try that. As funny as that does sound, I would prefer not to just die to an event. Which, unfortunately, is what I think is just going to happen. Have we scaled enough shielding for you guys yet? I'm pretty sure we have. Since last time I checked, 500 times 5 is a pretty big number. And I think they seem to agree. Give me my elites. Eventually, yeah, perfect. Just gotta muscle my way through. This should be perfectly fine. I imagine we're going to get a significant amount of shielding on the first shot. 80? It's not really that much. Luckily I got caught. No pumpkin pie. Oh, I think he was very close to living. Alas, not close enough, eh? Great stuff. Okay, yeah, no, that's pretty perfect, huh? I still am not the biggest fan of the Wolves and Bouncers contribute to damage being separate, but I certainly am getting a lot of damage procs. Pretty noticeable. I just think they should be the same relic. It'll be a pretty fun rare relic. I think it's significantly less fun in its current state. I believe this should be pretty easy left navigation. Good. If I hit that bomb there, I think that there was a good chance that... Well, there's infinite healing. Still crazy to me that Popping Con just exists. Like, it is just not balanced in its current state. No way we can get a one-shot, right? How much is a one-shot? More than what we've got, that's for sure. But it is a two-shot. Right? Yeah, it's a two-shot. I mean, that's pretty awesome. That was not an awesome shot, but at least it is pretty awesome that he's just done so now, right? Or is he barely alive? The fact that I got some horrendous shots to follow up on was worse than I thought, apparently. Good luck living now, though. I probably will just hit one bomb, actually. It's pretty likely, after all, I have Bombulate. Sorry, not Bombulate. Bombaton Recombobulator, so hitting bombs is pretty easy. As much as I would like for one of you to explode on me just because that would be funny, I don't think you're going to get to that stage, unfortunately. Right, if I were to get your shields also trigger damage when you trigger them, that is actually a lot of extra damage. Having durable plus that, plus big bag. Big bag is big bag after all. Plus all of the lovely damage that I do have. Sounds like a recipe for a lot of damage, which isn't technically what I want, but it is still pretty fun. I always love a good, unpretentious amulet value. Or critical equilibrium now, I guess. Man, it's so much easier to say that word now. You just need to think of it as critic and equilibrium, and then it's totally fine. It was very hard to read when I first saw the word, that's for sure. Critic equilibrium. 980? Well, those are rookie numbers. Let's get it up to at least 1200, shall we? 1240, perfect. Like, Dents would have been nice. I wouldn't have hated Dents. Unpretentious Amulet was definitely fun, though. Should I have taken Dents? The other scary thing about Dents, and the main reason why I didn't take it, is because of the post-combat navigation. Don't want to take the pinging power. Wait, no, I only have Horribles in my deck, which I'm not shooting. I can take the pinging power, perfect. Not really expecting any value from any of that. Imagine this is actually re-navigation, by the way, that would be so funny. This is actually the one fight that's like mildly scary for me. It makes making shields hard. Like, that's like my whole game plan. Alright, there we go. Looks like I now have my baseline available to me. Once I get my baseline, I think it's pretty simple from there. Yeah, because then I'm just getting consistent shooting per shot, and if there's one thing this guy doesn't like, it's consistency. That's the reason why he destroys all of your pegs. Because a lot of builds just can't really... I don't have any kind of PS, it's such a silly choice. But it's still so tempting. Almost called Powder Collector. I'm just going to skip. I don't want either of these boss relics. I want to be doing revenge stuff. 28 damage for 38 gold. Done deal. Yes, so... I love how they just put that at the end there. I guess adding the Electrum to my deck wouldn't have been that bad, so I actually wouldn't have died. But it's like, yes, if you had chosen to reduce yourself to 1 HP, you would have just killed yourself there effectively. Or chosen to take a Electrum and losing all your gold, which is technically a perfectly fine trade for me. You know, I don't technically actually lose anything for that. But, like, still. I have a perfect deck here, and that would be spoiling it. But I might try... I find that it's just so silly, though. Because it's literally just down to the whims of, do you get an event that decides to kill you? Like, you can't get a single Ouroboros or dupe event. As well as I would have died to Pegtar as well. Yeah. It's a funny thought, right? But probably just a bit too crazy, unfortunately. 4,000 damage. Okay, no, yeah, okay, let's just get to the bottom of the map as soon as possible, shall we? That sounds perfectly lovely. Wait, you attacked that turn? I thought he attacked on off. Or is it attack buff? Apparently I don't understand boss paladins on Cruci 20. Well, I wasn't paying the most attention, that's for sure. I was a bit too busy marveling at all of my lovely, lovely shielding pegs. I'm a bit surprised that I got that many shields on that map. The map's actually really hard to get, especially shield value on. And having stuff like durable really doesn't help. I guess it does make sense that we did have 3 refreshes on the board. It's just such a massive difference between having 1 and 2 refreshes on that map. And of course the 3rd refresh adds a lot as well. Refreshes did move as well though, which can be a good and a bad thing. But that map kind of just went swimmingly, didn't it? Oh, very impressive. Yeah, I always love doing these shield comps. Yeah, no, it was just good fun. I could try doing like 1 health shield comps in the future. That might be funny, but I don't know. It's probably not actually that funny. But yeah, no, trying to build these shield comps in normal runs is unfortunately very hard. I wish I could do it more, but realistically, you're just going to want to be doing like random balance nonsense most of the time, and there's just not really much point in trying to build fortification and stuff. You'd rather just have orbs with high damage, murder enemies, win, and not rely on like bullpen hammer fortification. Because the biggest issue with them most of the time, which is why I start off with so many of them in my deck, is just being able to shoot them consistently. Because you need to be able to shoot it, and you need to be able to get good value from it. And in Cruci 20, your deck's going to be very large, as well as the pegs are not going to just allow themselves to be hit. You're going to need to hit refresh stuff, which means you need shield stuff and refresh stuff, and even more shield stuff so you can actually shoot the shield stuff. And then at that stage, it's like, why don't you just do like balance Wrath and just obliterate enemies, you know what I mean?